All right, Grand Rising, everyone. It's Shalonda or Shay Seeking. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and continue on in St. Matthew, right? And just talking about Christ's entry into Jerusalem. I find this very interesting. Okay, we just came off of them talking about giving every man a penny for their work, you know. And again, in this society, I'm afraid that, again, we have a parallel kind of energy going on here, and that some people may be working in the field without knowing it. And, it's the whole thing about even having something so very valuable as to be precious pearls being used, again, in a certain way. But it's reminding me of this Bitcoin. I don't know, when it's talking about this penny, it's reminding me of something that have to do with Bitcoin. I don't know why. I mean, it just feels like, maybe there is some instance where there is a collection going on in a certain area. And again, if we don't know, like, if we're not clear on the legalities and paths and heredity and heraldry, lineage and things like that, then again, I'm just giving like a general something, and again, you do what you want with the information, I'm guessing. So like that whole thing, like if like in that energy of like being one with Christ and just working from the heart, doing something you love to do because you just love to do it, not expecting anything in return. But then we do know that, again, there are some that have been given the hard tasks, and again, are promised to have some form of payment. And I'm not saying this is going to be, when it comes to funds, maybe fundamental or for the mental. It may be in a spiritual sense. It may be growth and abundance in other areas. Here, somebody was granted the gift to be able to see. And so, again, we're just looking at this and seeing what we can see as far as things are going in these days. But okay, so again, it's saying here, friend, I do thee no wrong. Dost not thou agree with me? Okay. For the penny. I don't know, just making me think of coin, like get that coin, you know what I'm saying? But, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just randomly saying, we're just talking here, right? We're just questioning things here. Okay. So it says, take that thine is, and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even as unto thee. Okay. And, it's almost like I don't know, I feel like I don't know, a sense of abandonment even here with this. Like, it's like, something for the greater cause. So again, being able to suffer or pick up that cross, or just, again, and be able to do what you do for like the collective, in a sense. And again, not really have any worries, because we look at, again, people that are not on a course of like a monetary kind of gain. sometimes I feel people look at them as if they're worthless or they're not worthy, right? When I feel like those are like the richest and the purest at heart. Because although it may not look like big shot moves and they may not dress and do things in certain fashions, you know, their minds are very expansive and amazing. I'll say, like, even just when it comes to tactics, like they have the keys to change things, to make things better for everyone. And I think that just, you know, there's just a whole level of miscommunication here on this plane, that greed and envy and strife and other things that are intertwined in this is making it hard for people to make positive and progressive moves. I'm saying beyond those initial things that we see when it comes to, I mean, I think we've done a video on charity and in the sense of giving in that way. But I feel like, you know, yeah, that stuff works, right? Okay, to feed somebody that's hungry or poor, of course, right? But I feel like it's just to feed the mind a sense of knowledge or something that's sustainable, something that they can then nourish their minds with and start seeing things in that light, in that manner, in that way, in that fashion. And then it goes on from generation to generation to generation. So again, like a whole tear down and rebuild, and then making it a little bit more basic and a little bit more just honest when it comes to whatever legalities, laws, bills, and, you know, it's just everything. You know, I don't know. But again, it's okay for me to stay out of the radar if what I'm doing is going to be powerful and impact things on that magnitude or that scale. But then again, you realize that at some point in time when you lay low or you're in that position of a lower position, you know what I'm saying, and you think like there's a way that you take that position that's up in the air, you know what I'm saying, as above, so below, in a sense. Not really though, right? So it's like, you know, like whenever I think of above, I see myself as someone who is worthy to dedicate my time to source in that energy without having to have some kind of fame behind it. Just the fact that what's being done is making the change. But you know, it's hard when you see like, okay, if there's a new thing, okay, but right, it's like, man, but if you have that where you are able to be there in that elevated status one day, if you get that, if the stairway of heaven opens up to you one day and you have to start taking those steps, I'm secure enough in me, how I operate. I will hope that the trials and tribulations will say that regardless of whatever it is, when it comes to figuring out ways to make things better, to calm the storm, to make a more straight path, that's what I would like to be a part of. And it's just like, you know, man, it's just like, I wonder, like, if that energy that we look at when we talk about that, the pyramid on the dollar bill, or even that energy, like what happens at the top, that things change where you have to then, you know, seem like you have to be silenced in a sense. But I think I'm starting to see it as like a sense of obedience in that way. A sense of, again, giving yourself in a certain, and it's almost like, yeah, sacrificing yourself for the better of the whole. Being Yeah, I'm even seeing that image. Mm. So again, and I feel like even just with that whole energy, the further you go toward the top, the quieter it is. It can maybe, like, even stepping into a certain energy one day, it kind of like, I was like, oh, and I just think I maybe like panicked for a second because of just, I think the brightness and the unknown, and even just looking back maybe at what maybe uh, thinking back on what may have been getting left behind, and like, I don't know. I think it's just a fascinating time to be alive, regardless of, again, how people are seeing it from their perception. Y'all, I'm playing around in that park yesterday, and I promise you, I think something bit me. There's 2 bumps here, and they're bothering the heck out of me. I have my hand swollen, or either that, or because they were doing a lot of cutting down of stuff. Maybe where I was sitting, I touched something. Hope it wasn't like some poison ivy or something. Yeah, it's bothering me. But anyways, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I hope that you understand what I'm saying here. So even like the whole thing with love and war, it's like maybe I can see where sources has kind of been trying to take things down a notch. Because I feel like sometimes we feel like we're being heard, or if we're not being heard by delivering our message. But again, is the platform actually necessary to really invest and put that particular type of work in? Or is it that form of solitude and going within that means more? And I know people don't want to like not be heard or feel like you're not being heard, right? But I think that's why, again, this whole thing about opening up the eyes of some. Like, I could tell you, yes, a lot of things have been going on, but there's a very peaceful and loving and something that's going on. But it's very, like, structured as well and strong in that manner. So again, okay, so again it says, okay, and when they had received it, they they murmured against the good man of the house. Okay, so I mean, it sounds like there's some kind of changing of funds or something like that. Okay, but they murmured against the good man of the house, right? Saying these last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden and heat of the day. See? Wow. Have borne the burden in the heat of the day. But he answered one of them and said, Friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst thou agree with me for a penny? Take that thine is and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? And then the next question is thine eye evil because I am good? So the last shall be first, and the first shall be last, for many will be called, but few chosen. And Jesus, we just, again, because everybody's going to get upset no matter how we pronounce it, right? And sometimes when we're in the New Testament, I feel like we can use the J because by that time it was probably in circulation. Going up to Jerusalem, took the 12 disciples apart in the way, and said unto them, Behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man shall be betrayed unto the chief priestess. So again, this is sounding like somewhat of a, again, plan or setup or something to me. And unto scribes, and they shall condemn him to death. Okay, so again, it's almost like, again, a way to get someone into a situation to be, again, cut off again, right? Is what I'm sensing here. But again, if I always see a good and bad. So I always think when the garden is there, but there is that sense of a serpent or whatnot, that is always going to be that. And so again, clairvoyance and time, which again, to assess the situation, to be able to go within and really, use your sensors in order to see. Okay. Unto chief priests and unto scribes, and they shall condemn him to death. So again, in this way, it makes me think about, again, that the storyline of in that book, The Spring, when Elijah was possibly going to be, and again, if he was joined with Esther as a twin flame at some point in time, what does it mean? Because at that time she was also, I think that he was coming and letting her know that someone was trying to take him away and possibly her too, right? I don't know, that's just reminding me of that, the whole story of Black Hawk and things like that. Okay. So again, going up to Jerusalem could also be, again, a mental state, but it can also be a place. And the Son of Man shall be betrayed. Okay, so again, we hope that, again, in my eyes, the way I look at these things, I like to see the things that may have been going wrong and see them for what they were, in hopes that, again, we maybe don't repeat the same things. You may call it prayer or whatnot, but again, this is just the way it is for me. And shall deliver him to the Gentiles to mock and scourge. Okay? So again, and to crucify him, and the third day he shall rise again. Right? So, I think that, again, maybe we are even coming to a sense where I may be coming to a realization, again, as a spiritual being or an empath, that at some point in time there was a crucifying of, or there's going to be a repetitive, or someone wants to put a cycle onto this crucifying of him or her, because again, that him can also be talking about a her. Okay, so again, in the 3rd days, then he will rise again. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children and her sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. Okay, so again, this makes me think about what I talked about last night. Again, the incident, we're just using these as components to maybe see what we're talking about. You know, when it comes to that storyline that we were talking about from that, show, when it comes to vampires. And of course, they may not be talking about vampires. I'm just saying, just looking at it in that different light of the different beings, again, that are on this plane, that some of you and I are possibly connected to. And it may just be, like I'm saying, when it comes to like animalistic things, when it comes to different groups and names and coat of arms and stuff like that, it is tied in with the bloodline or the surname, okay, symbolically, right? So it doesn't even necessarily have to mean what we think it means. I don't know. Sometimes I think like vampires can also be just code name for like, old blood or old money or old, ancient bloodlines that have been, like in a sense, right? And then sometimes even to consume, or cannibals is like consuming something. So it's basically just not, we imagine, or we've been given a perception of people that go out and just eat people and put them on the barbecue grill. We're not talking about that. We're talking about family members that are known to be consuming that which is of another family, blood, another part of that family that may be a lower ranking part, but actually in the beginning they may have been high ranking. So the blood, and they know exactly who these people are. And when it comes to your so-called slavery, especially here in Americas, who was feeding the children of everyone, including her own children, was the American empress, or the American women. And again, they weren't keeping just any women. These were the royal women. So again, in some of these privileged families, it was your family that took the fall from a part of their children coming in and then consuming that. That's what sharecropping, again, looks like to me, as that part where those individuals came in. And after a couple generations, it's been forgotten that was initially probably your land. And when it comes to slavery and things like that, your last name and your plantation, actually, what I'm saying? And this doesn't have a color on it. I'm just saying in general of how I'm seeing that this possibly worked. Okay. So again, the cannibalism is people that consume their own people or children or eat people. And that is, again, how one would look at a man eater or something, that with that succubus energy that comes in order to get these things from men and things like this, and to seduce them in a way where, what I'm saying, it's all about just that. And then all about, again, those other things that don't really build up the character of the heart, body, mind, soul, and spirit. It's about gain. And then what turns into greed, right? And then once that happens and the heat is on, then it turns into go-getters that want to get your ass. So again, it's just a funny kind of, it's not funny. Why do I keep using funny? It's just the way it like we look at the circle of life and say, oh, it's so beautiful. Look at the, bee, and it goes up to the flower and it sucks out the honey, and it, same thing. But in a like, and then this repeats itself in the honey. We eat the honey, but no, there's another darker side of that circle as well. Right? So you have those energies, like even when they talk symbolically about like possibly like different planets, right? Consuming, or different deities, which also just represent those planets and the energy and the frequency that was going around with the current situations. Again, they've given us a perception of these individuals, but it's really about what's being said about them in order to interpret and understand what we're really talking about here. Okay? So that then we know better. Right? Because even you can give your child many things. And I'm sorry to say, because I know that people are looking to get these things or gain these things. But when the world is running rampant and our borders are being bombarded, then what will it matter anyways? Because somebody will just come on that land that you have, and they will just take your head, and then they will take your land and your money, your resources, and all your other things, possibly even your lineage, because Americans couldn't come together as a whole. No matter what so-called race you are, they could not come together. So this whole dark energy, I see where people are coming from when they want to talk about our people this, but the longer we just talk about our this and that, we're never going to be able to be as a whole and undivided, so that we can take care of the issues that are at hand for all Americans, period. Again, that's what it seems like to me. When I talk about these things, it is not to divide, it's just to show how we got here. When Americans don't care about Americans, you know what? Other people come in and take what you both have, or all of you groups. You see? That's what makes weak borders. And sometimes, I'm sorry to say, but the political arena gets in the way, and I'm just thinking, who is running things? Just move over and just let me sit in the seat. I know some people that have the answers. We may not see eye to eye on every single thing, but I know some people that would know how to get it done if they were allowed. So again, and Son of Man portray. Okay, so but then again, so that the corruption can continue. You know, is this some instance where? Okay, so again we have the Son of Man. I don't know. Whenever I see that, it usually compares to Christ, like the organic, the real Christ, right? So it's almost like the Son of. It's almost like the Son of Man is possibly the idol, or not adversary, but equivalent in a sense to Christ. I don't know what like in duality in a sense. Oh, sorry. Right? So again, but again, Son of Man it reminds me again of what that is brought forth by man and law. And then Christ is just something that's organic and natural. And it's not even a sense about what documents you can prove and how all this and that. Is about the energy. It's about what you hold. It's about that power. And again, unfortunately, when it comes to Son of Man, we have to look at it in that sense, because man will not know many things that Christ will. And so man will use his energy and his entities and his idols in order to, again, suck off of, again, that which is organic or natural when it comes to Christ. But they don't want Christ, because Christ is really the rule. That Christ energy would be the real rule and reign. From the root, that which is organic and natural, and that really carries and holds the weight and does the work. So again, we've come up with a system that, again, we can take from. And that, again, when we talk about Christ and that energy of the all source nature, nut and gab, or newt and gab, that whole is just like I don't know. It's just so free-flowing that, again, the information and the telepathic energies and stuff that we're going through, that's natural. But then again, we just have to keep in mind that man wants to do the same thing. He wants to be up there as well. So, I mean, and if it's for good reasons, I don't know. But I'm just saying. Because, again, organic reasons can be, wrong too, right? So it's just, I don't know. For me, the generational curses has something to do with that, and embracing that, which is me, and what I have to offer, and utilizing that in a way to, again, inspire or invoke thought in other people when it comes to these matters. So, and freeing some of the ancestors that wish that they could have been here and said these things and knew these things. So I'm taking all of that and all of that and all that, and then also delivering it back to the people in order for us to understand and see, so that we don't, again, hopefully make those same mistakes. So again, I don't know. It's just like there's good and bad on both sides, because there's really not no such thing as race in that sense. The reality is that there's good and bad, and people know better. And because some people can get away with things because they have positions in certain platforms of power, they're able to do that. And they know that you don't. And so, again, they're able to trample you. Okay? Even when it comes to, again, the mothering of the children. Well, that mother might have been those American women, Indian so-called black women were having those babies, but at any given moment, because she was under the rule of an overseer and an overlord, then, certain things can happen to her children. So now we're seeing people upset about certain things like this, but we're not even paying attention to seeing where it came from and what the root of it is. And a lot of it because you guys are very valuable resources yourself. Okay. So again, that betrayal, that power and that force and that hidden hand is what can also bring a nation or a group down. It can be the thing that cuts the head off of a collective or of that pyramid when it comes to what could be awesome and amazing when it comes to that particular power couple, the Adam and Eve, so-called, right? Because we can really break that down and it'd be whole different of what the culture is today. And I think that someone's trying to hold on to that other way, and it's just like, which way do we go? Are we going all the way tech and forward? You know what I'm saying? Or is that even forward, or is that even taking us back? Because the more we go that way, the more we lose ourselves in humanity, so-called humanity, or as individuals. But then when you start going back, then you leave that, which is that tech, in the hands of some groups that may not do very well with it. But again, remember, we're being changed and molded and formed as we go, whichever way we decide to go, all the time. And some of these things cannot be reversed that are being done to and put in your body. Okay, so again, we see a betrayal here. And again, I always feel like this sense of there is an overriding kind of energy where these same betrayals are trying to go on, but then there's also that left and right, red and blue, the ass and the elephant, meaning Republican and, Democrat. It's all division. Because can't we all see that there's just something wrong? Can we all see what that is? And can we all just apply? Excuse me, watch out. It's not a bad word. Watch out, excuse me. Okay? So again, the main thing we need to be focused on is, again, someone trying to take out those that are trying to keep it all the way 100 and real with you. Okay? And give you someone that's seemingly doing it, but again, what is it really? I don't know. Just look on there. Okay? And it's a shame because, again, I feel like some energies, ancestors and guides and angels are trying to work closely with us, but then there's always that shade on the other side that's being thrown. And it's always that undermining kind of thing. But again, what source says it goes, but if you're not in alignment with that, and if you don't see that and you don't feel that, and if you don't know that, then I don't know. There's nothing really, I think that's what keeps me going, just knowing who I am and knowing that nobody on this plane really, but the all in source can tell me otherwise. And if, because I see it as some of these gods, again, turn against some individuals here. And again, you have to be ready to be able to stand on your own and know who you are and not be able to lose that as well if someone tries to, or something tries to undermine you for whatever reason. Because, there's always them children that go against the grain. And it's not even being disrespectful to the source at all. It's just being a little bit more understanding with, or walking with longer or whatnot, to be able to ask those questions that other people wouldn't dare do. And I'm not saying in a disrespectful, just being yourself enough to know that I'm not coming disrespectful. I'm really trying to understand. I want to see, So, okay, well then they don't have it then. Hold on a second. Let me finish what I'm doing, please. Okay. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children and her 2 sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. Okay. And he said unto her, what wilt thou? She saith unto him, grant that these my 2 sons may sit, the one on the right and the one and the other on the left, in the kingdom. Okay. But Yeshua answered and said, ye not know what ye ask. Okay. Are you able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? Okay. They say unto him, we are able. Okay. And he said unto them, ye shall drink indeed of my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. Okay. And when the 10 heard it, they were moved with indignation against the 2 brethren. But Yeshua called them unto him and said, ye know that the princes of Gentiles exercise dominion over them. Okay. Okay. The princes. Okay. The princes of the Gentiles. So again, these princes can be princesses as well, right? Exercise dominion over them. So again, it also giving me that Rahab and the spies, right? Or the serpents, possibly even in the garden, and trying to decipher or see what is what and when and where, right? So again, this is giving them a gateway in, right? Again, to that holy land, right? With, again, the eyes and ears of these Rahabs of this time would be those that just can't mind their business and concerned about you not wanting to mind your business or their business with your business. And so it's just a problem. It's okay. So, it just, I don't know. I'm just practicing on being great and struggling with my own daily struggles, and communing with source is enough for me all day. Even though I do know, I can see, right? So I can see them, I can hear them, I can feel them, I can sense them, the prowling and things like that, I can sense that energy all day. and it's like now I can see them before they even come through the door, right? Or the gate. I can sense that, again, some energies want to get close for not good reasons, and some want to connect because, again, we are meant to. Okay, and that they are great exercise authority upon them. So again, this is making me think about that whole Afghanistan energy and the fact that we are getting a perception of something that may be pertaining to something else, maybe by the hands of source or by the hands of God-governing forces that want to compete or compare. But it shall not be so among you. Right? So again, that is that other energy of a God saying, you know, I'm going to take care of you, possibly, right? Right? Or even that energy, like I said, that can be used in a messed up way where someone gets put in a position of power by, again, the others, right? So again, this authority is being given, it seems like to me, from one side of source, and then it's also man-made would be another way of doing this through like some artificial intelligence or again, succubus, copycat energy and idolatry, period. Let's just say idolatry compared to what is the original, the all. And again, when we're his children or they're children of the Elohim, then we're going to be maybe not all seeing, but seeing a lot, right? From different angles, up and down, throughout the things, weaving up, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a thing that's going to be of you, right? Many things well, because again, that's what builds, but I feel like it's that connection too. This is why they isolate us and make us feel like islands, because again, together it would be a wrap. It just would be over. It would just be already over. Okay? So again, it seems like she's asking for these sons, but then he's saying, hey, you already know, but I'm thinking in my eyes, I'm thinking it's the same energy. But if you coming around here and you dealing with people that's doing that, then you're going to have to cut them off before you come around me. This is most reason why why it's hard for me to, again, connect like that, because I can see people's energy. So it's very hard. And when I do, it seems like there's something else. When I do find that energy to connect with and sit with, it's always, and it's like that one feeling. And then it seems like there's something that comes along, whether I am doing it, because again, so used to having to, fend for myself in a sense, or having like, again, that brotherly love energy around, that love, hate, love and war kind of energy, because again, you guys are, in the same lineage, and there's things that may be known and unknown and rivalries and things like that, right? But sometimes I feel like that's what it is when I'm communing with that energy. It's like I'm the girl, maybe even the youngest even of the group. You know what I'm saying? So you